second stop in the Netherlands was Scheveningen, with The Hague nearby. The government of the Netherlands and the European Court are located in this city of 400,000 people. In The Hague, there have been regular illegal acid and techno parties since the early 90s. Out of that, a small but vigorous electronic scene has evolved. The label Bunker Records, IF, who runs his Vulex label and the online radio station Cybernetic Broadcasting System in The Hague, Intergalactic Gary and Mononom are all part of this scene. Danny Walters, alias Legowelt, lives in Scheveningen, one of the most popular spas on the Dutch coast. He first appeared on the electronic music map in 1997. Wolfers releases his tracks, many of which have been released on Bunker Records, under pseudonyms such as Danny Blanco, Catnip and Venom 18. He gained greater attention in 2002 when his track Disco Route was licensed by Sven Väth's Cocoon Records and voted Track of the Year in the German Groove magazine. Meanwhile, sound nerd Danny Walters has founded his own label, Strange Life Records.
The name legowelt was conceived, so to speak, in I think 1997 or something. It's like playing with Lego. It's building your own little stories or worlds, and I do that with my synthesizers. My first release was in 1998. And it was a CD I made for a little label here, and it was very minimal, basic electro tracks, like only with the bass line and melody, very raw. But my first real release, if you wanted to look at that way, on vinyl was Pimp Shifter, that was released on Bunker in 1998 also. That was also really distributed and stuff, so that's when I became a little bit more known with the people around the world. The track which I'm most famous for is Disco Route. I don't know what happened with that, but it was originally meant for the Pimp Shifter record, but I didn't put it on there because I didn't like it as much or something. And then it was released on Ghostly on a compilation, and then Cocoon Records from Germany licensed it. It's nice that it became such a hit because you gotta make a dime too, and it's cool. But it's the track is not very different from other stuff I made or something, and I don't know why especially that track became such a hit. And I think it's because like some persons can put it in the media and make it big. My influences on my music is a very broad range of things. I really like a lot of different types of music. Of course, the Detroit stuff, the Chicago stuff, and the Hague stuff, and also like electro. And I also really like old electronic music from the 60s and 70s, like Mort Garrison and Vangelis and stuff like that, and also soundtracks from Italian movies, mostly like horror kind of Galio movies they are called, and they have very freaked out soundtracks. And I'm also influenced by those movies in general, so the feeling they have and stuff like that. I'm not really a collector of all old synthesizers. It's mainly the old synthesizers I have here have a use, and I use them because of the certain sounds they have. So, and yeah, I have quite a lot of them because they all have different sounds, which I like, you know. And of course, it's also fun to have to look at it, you know. The sounds I want from synthesizers have to have a raw edge, because I think a lot of electronic music today sounds really boring and sterile and crap. Like it's just, they just put it straight into the computer or something, and they don't even think about how it should sound. So you have very sterile sounds that are very boring. And for me, like, the whole production of this is like, I don't know why that is, but I've noticed that like production in the 70s and the 60s was a lot better sounding, because it was more warmer sounding or something. And yeah, it just sounds better to the ears than lots of today's stuff, which is very on the mid frequency, like mixed. So that hurts your ear, you know. And I don't know why that is, because those people are deaf and can't hear the highs or something, you know. And you know, I like bass in the sound and a little bit of noise maybe, and also lots of effects like delay to make it more organic and stuff. So that's basically it. I want to have organic sounds from synthesizers. Most of them also have names. And it's because they all have their own personality in the sound, of course, and also how they look and how the interface is, you know. So I thought it would be just fun to give them names to make it a bit more personal. So the synthesizers are treated a bit like with respect or something. The elements of the typical legowelt sound, basically you could say that the sound to reach its organic state as like a tremolo and vibrato, that it goes like, you know, like a LFO on the pitch, or like small changes in the filter, like with LFOs or envelopes. And also delay. I really like delay, because I don't know why that is. Maybe because of dub music, it always sounds very organic if it's delay, because it gets like its own rhythm and stuff. The third element is the mixing on the mixing board. I have like most of the time a setting on the EQ, which is like with the mid sweep all the way open and the other mid sweep one back, so it gets like a really pumping effect, but also like I think it's comparable with how they mixed in the 60s or 70s or something, like maybe a bit like early rock band EQ or something. My connection with Bunker is, of course, first they release my music, and in the beginning they were the only one that wanted to release my music, and it's a very